Hi everyone, today is 9/11/2024, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the events that happened 23 years ago and what happened to me at the time, where I was, and how it affected me and how it's still affecting me now. So back then I was about 8 years old in 2001, and I was in elementary school. I was living in Tennessee at the time, and I didn't find out about what happened until after my dad had picked me up from school, and he told me that the Twin Towers had been blown up and all of that stuff. I didn't really know about any of that until after school, so it was quite a shock, as I'm sure you can imagine. But at the same time, I didn't truly grasp the concept that we were attacked. I thought, why were we attacked? What did we do? I didn't really understand because I was a kid, and it was kind of scary. My parents were watching the news all the time, and they were concerned, and it concerned me, and it was really such an odd time. I don't really remember a whole lot about it. Like I said, I think I was just so young. I didn't truly understand, how heavy of a situation that was, how big of a deal it was. And so I think I drowned a lot of that out, except that I just remember that my family, my family were really upset about it, and it was a crazy thing that happened. But I do remember, as getting older, when I was like in my early 20s, I started to learn a lot more about it. I started watching documentaries about it and learning exactly what happened, why, and what happened after it, the result of it. It was just really interesting to learn about. Of course, it was very sad, and it just made me so upset that something like that happened. And even today, I just feel so bad for all those people that have been affected by it, and I pray for those people, the families, the victims, all those people who suffered. It was a horrible event, and even though at the time I didn't really understand it, I understand it a lot more now, and I'm really a lot more thoughtful of it, and it really has impacted me as an adult. And so one thing that also happened was last year I went to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and I never thought about it at the time before I went there. But when I was there and I saw these two very beautiful buttes, as they're called, they're buttes, and they were standing tall and long, and they're just so beautiful. And they reminded me of the Twin Towers because they were these two, like, if you've seen westerns. In fact, I have it on my shirt right here. This is what they look like. These two, they're a lot bigger than what they see in the picture. But these beautiful little mountains, these buttes as they're called, and they're just standing tall, and they reminded me so much of the Twin Towers because they're two towering buttes, and it was just so patriotic. It made me feel so patriotic. And the thing that was the most interesting thing of all is the fact that a couple days before we had actually went there was a tornado that happened. If you know Nebraska is a part of Tornado Alley, and there was a tornado that tore through right in that area, right next to those buttes, right in that whole area. And when we got there, these buttes were standing tall. They were as if nothing happened. They weren't phased. Nothing was destroyed. It was just so inspiring, and it felt so patriotic knowing that even though the Twin Towers in New York are destroyed and all the bad things that happened back then, I felt so happy knowing that there's, in a way, a different type of Twin Towers in Nebraska, and they're standing tall. A crazy tornado ripped right through, right next to them. And the thing is, those buttes have been there for hundreds of years. They've been there for a long time. I can't remember exactly what year they were formed, but I know they've been there. Originally, here's a little history. What it's called, it's called Mitchell Pass, the little road that goes between those two buttes, and that was originally a trail that was part of the Oregon Trail back in the 1800s and stuff. And so those things have been there for hundreds of years. And they've gone through tornadoes, all sorts of hazardous weather, and they're still standing tall even today. If I were to go out to Nebraska, they'd be standing tall right there. And it just really felt so patriotic and inspiring that we still have a Twin Towers in Nebraska. It's not a skyscraper, but it's symbolic to me. Just it felt so good seeing something like that after something crazy that had rolled right through and could have destroyed or killed people, and they're just standing there as if nothing happened. And it was just such a such a beautiful thing to see. And so it really makes me proud to be an American. I love this country. I love a lot of the things that, that we have and our freedoms. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. God bless.